What would be our next generation vehicle? Is this traditional gasoline vehicle or diesel vehicle or hybrid vehicle or electric vehicle? Hi, I am Amitav Singha. Today I am going to talk about why fuel cell vehicle is considered to be next generation vehicle. Greenhouse gases are the main cause of global warming, and tailpipe emissions are one of the major contributors to greenhouse gases. Therefore, auto manufacturers are doing lots of research on zero emission vehicles. As a result, there are many low emission vehicles are available on the road, such as hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles, and fuel cell vehicles. The government and auto manufacturing manufacturers are spending a billions dollars to develop a clean vehicle that is helpful to the environment. There is a lot of technology behind the development of fuel cell electric vehicle. Driving range is one of the most important to develop a fuel cell vehicle. According to a basic overview of fuel cell technology, the fuel cell is an electrochemical energy conversion device which produces electricity by a chemical reaction. Each fuel cell consists of two electrolytes, one is known as anode and another is known as cathode. Anode produces positive charge where cathode produces negative charge. The main purpose of fuel cell is to produce electricity that can be used to drive the electric motor, powering lights, or operating different type of circuits. This is the picture of a hydrogen fuel cell. Types of fuel cells. Alkaline fuel cell is made with compressed hydrogen and oxygen, where potassium dioxide acts as an electrolyte. Alkaline fuel cell was first used on the Apollo spacecraft. This type of fuel cell can produce 300 watts to 5 kilowatts electric current. Next one is molten carbonate fuel cells. Molten carbonate fuel cells are made of a high temperature compound salts such as sodium or magnesium carbonate. Their operating temperature is 1200 degrees Fahrenheit and they can generate up to 2 megawatt current and their efficiency is about 60 to 80%. Phosphoric acid fuel cell. Phosphoric acid fuel cells are phosphoric acid as the electrolyte and it can produce 200 kilowatt to 11 megawatt electricity and their efficiency is about 40 to 80%. Most commonly used fuel cell is proton exchange membrane. It is generally used in automobile industry because it can be operated at low temperature and it produces 500 to 250 kilowatts electricity and they use one kind of sheet. It's called permeable sheets and this sheet is kind of work as a electrolyte. Solid oxide fuel cell is another kind of fuel cell. A ceramic metal such as calcium oxide is used as an electrolyte in a solid oxide fuel cells. They can operate up to 1000 degrees Celsius and generate 100 kilowatt electricity current. Hydrogen as a fuel cell. President George Bush announced the Hydrogen Fuels Initiative program in 2003. Afterwards, on the legislature passed the Energy Policy Act of 2005 that gave more funds to perform research on hydrogen cells. It considered in 2020 there will be many hydrogen fuel cell operated vehicles on US road. This, the US government spent $1 billion for research on hydrogen fuel cells and infrastructure. Now I'm going to talk about process of hydrogen gas production. Hydrogen is not available by itself. In nature, it combines with another element. Most of the hydrogen that can be utilized for fuel cells are available in either water form or hydrocarbon form. Hydrogen consists of single electron and one proton. The article hydrogen power fuel cell mentioned when applying heat on the hydrocarbon, that hydrogen separates from the hydrocarbon. This process is known as reforming, and NASA first used liquid hydrogen as a fuel for space shuttle and other rockets. Hydrogen and oxygen can be separated from water when current passes through the water. This process is kind of complex. Researchers are working on trying to develop this type of this process. If they are successful, they will be helped to put FCEV on the road. The California government invested a lot of money for zero emission vehicles. FCVs are very expensive because the cost of vehicle itself and fuel cost. According to Drive Clean CA government, there are 13 hydrogen fuel stations in California and only 9 are for public uses. There are a lot of manufacturing such as Ford, GM, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai and Toyota already invest millions of dollars in FCEV development. They have planned to introduce fuel cell electric vehicle in 2015 and 2017. Hyundai started research on fuel cell unit in 1998. Their first fuel cell vehicle came out in 2000 as a Santa Fe model. The fuel cell can operate 100 kilowatt battery was introduced in 2007 Tucson model with an operating range of 200 miles. Hyundai iX35 came out 2013 and by end of 2015 they plan to manufacture thousands of iX35 model. This is Hyundai iX35 fuel cell vehicle display on SE World Congress 2014. Now I'm going to talking about technology behind the fuel cell electric vehicle. Fuel cell electric vehicle consists of fuel cell stack management and processing, motor and reduction gear, inverter, battery and hydrogen tank. The fuel cell stack management and processing unit supply hydrogen and oxygen into the fuel cell. This unit also works as the cooling system and release water vapors as a byproduct. The function of fuel stack is to generate electric power through the chemical reaction of hydrogen and oxygen. This electric power goes to the motor and reduction gear. The function of motor and reduction gear convert electric power that is supplied by fuel cell stack to mechanical power that drives the final driveshaft. The another function of reduction gear is to control the torque. The inverter is used for converting high voltage that is produced from fuel cell stacks and battery. It is also used for converting alternative current. Fuel cell electric vehicles have a battery pack for start up the vehicle and used for other onboard electric device. It has at least one durable high pressure hydrogen tank for hydrogen gas store. This is the picture of fuel processing system. This is the fuel cell stack in Hyundai iX35 model. This is the battery pack. Hyundai iX35 model using two hydrogen tank. We are saying two hydrogen gas tank. This is the one of the view of hydrogen filling reciprocal. Now I'm going to talk about why fuel cell electric vehicle is considered to our next generation vehicle. Fuel cell electric vehicle produce water as a byproduct, so it is known as a zero emission vehicle because it does not produce any harmful gas like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, NOx. Another advantage of hydrogen fuel vehicle is considered as a high efficient vehicle with very low amount of energy losses. The hydrogen fuel cell vehicle is about 45% efficient compared with diesel. The efficiency of diesel is about 33%, and where gasoline has the lowest efficient, that is about 15 to 20%. Another advantage for hydrogen-based fuel vehicle, it can be refueled very quickly. It takes only 3 minutes to complete refueling. However, electric vehicle needs at least 30 minutes for charging if it is charging as a rapid way. Normal charging time for the electric vehicle is about 6 hours. So that is the disadvantage for driving electric vehicles. Fuel cell electric vehicle is still now as an experimental vehicle, so there is some limitation for this technology. One of the major constraints for this technology is produce hydrogen gas. Because hydrogen combined with another component, therefore scientists have to develop technology to produce hydrogen gas more convenient way. Another limitation for lack of fuel station. Only some states they have a hydrogen gas filling station. For example, California, they have only 13 operating uh, hydrogen fueling station and only 9 is for public use. Fuel cell contains sulfur and this sulfur is poisonous for human body. There is some misconception about fuel cell electric vehicle because this type of vehicle is still now experimental base, so people don't have any knowledge about this technology. When this type of vehicle is available on the road for test purpose, so people can know about more about this technology. In my conclusion, hydrogen fuel cell vehicle is considered as a. In my presentation, I talk about the background of fuel cell electric vehicle, types of fuel cell, process of processes of hydrogen gas production, and development of fuel cell electric vehicle, and what type of model are available on the road